A nasty end-of-year storm has been making its way across eastern Canada. And after hammering Ontario and Quebec, it's expected to reach the Maritimes later today. This is a shot just outside Kitchener, Ontario, where police say multiple vehicles have ended up in the ditch. The winter storm has been pummeling parts of the province, bringing with it heavy snow, freezing rain, and blizzard conditions. That shut down highways and cut power to tens of thousands. Here's some advice that provincial police are giving to stay safe.
I think my biggest message is if you don't have to be on the road, don't be on the road. Stay home, keep yourself safe, keep other people safe. But if you are on the road, visibility, keep your headlights on, make sure you give enough space between you and other vehicles. And don't rush anywhere. Slow down. I know the posted sign limits say 40, 50, 60, 100, 110, but those are on great road conditions, summer day, clear, minimal traffic. And when there is ice, rain, snow, or any kind of hazardous debris or anything on the road, slow it down. Take your time because you do want to arrive alive and you do want to be safe, not just for you, but for everybody else that's on the road. Share the road.
Ontario Provincial Police go on to say conditions in parts of central Ontario are also treacherous. Tractor trailers and large vehicles have turned over and many cars are in the ditch. In the Waterloo region, poor visibility and snow have closed several roadways. Now, that constable stepped out of her vehicle to show us just how bad the weather is.
So, we have this road closed. We've extended our road closure as well. You can see it's very poor visibility, strong winds. We have all this intersection here closed. We do have vehicles that come occasionally through it and try to go around. We are working on putting up signs here to close this road and intersection.
And she says high winds are also blowing snow, making it difficult to navigate safely. She's recommending people, as you heard, stay off the roads. And here now is a look at current weather alerts in the eastern part of the country. Environment Canada says up to 25 centimeters of snow is possible in parts of Quebec, along with winds of up to 70 kilometers an hour. Ontario is now into its second day of the storm. And in the province's southwest, snow and wind is making for a messy day in Kitchener and Waterloo, with snow squall and wind warnings in effect. The Weather Network's Mark Robinson is in blustery St. Jacobs with more on how conditions are shaping up there.
Cold is a good way to describe it. I think the real thing, what makes it very cold, is those winds. And that is simply because we've got this very strong low pressure system. You got cold air wrapping around the backside of it. And that cold air coming in over top of those relatively warm lake waters. And of course, that's giving us snow squalls. And that is kind of what St. Jacobs here is experiencing. In fact, I'll take you there. You can actually see, that's a little bit of sun right there. Even though the drive into here was so bad, we were in full whiteout conditions as I was driving east-west towards here. That north-south roads also almost full whiteout conditions when you get into those fields. Definitely a day if you can stay off the roads and stay inside, unlike what I'm doing. It's probably a good way to do that. But if you do have to be out and about, I'm going to suggest that you make sure you've got everything you need in the car. And that would include a shovel, because sometimes if you make a little mistake, you can get yourself into some heavy snow. And that is going to continue for the next little while. So definitely bundle up. It's cold out there.
That's Mark Robinson of the Weather Network. Thank you. And here in studio, we've got the CBC's Mark Carcasole, who's tracking the weather alerts and warnings. He joins me now. Okay, so let's talk about some of the conditions that will be blowing through different parts of the country.
Arthi, for many areas, this is actually sort of the second hit, right? So you've got that first system that has moved through, brought in freezing rain, snow, whatever the case may be. And now a second system of cold weather moving in that's adding to it, but also freezing what's already there. Case in point, let's look at the situation on the ground in Ottawa today, where sidewalks, if they're not salted, are essentially ice slicks. This poor guy trying to walk his dog, and then nearby you could see this area looks like between two houses that is just an arena, and then trying to scrape off the car this morning was not an easy task for many in Ottawa. Salt crews are out. However, there's a lot of work for them to do. From there, let's move on to Biscotasing, Ontario, which is a little bit north of Sudbury. We got an email from a fella named Greg who advises everyone to stay out of Bisco. He writes that they've seen a, quote, hell of a storm. He says highways in the area are closed. Trains are stopped. He wants everyone to know that it is bad there, and that you should stay away from Biscotasing, Ontario. From there, let's move on to Mirabel, Quebec. We saw that overturned vehicle on a highway in Ontario. Same situation here. In Mirabel, a fire truck responding to a call lost control on slick roads, went into the ditch, rolled over. We're hearing that the whole crew is safe. Everyone is okay. That's good news. And then Timmins, Ontario. Here's a look at a part of the city just absolutely buried in snow. They're seeing high winds, heavy snow. Earlier today, you spoke to Ryan Pilon on your show, Arthi, who works for Timmins Snow Removal. He's used to the snow, yes, but he says even for him, many years in Timmins, this is a lot.
Yeah, we haven't stopped since about 2 in the morning. And most likely won't be stopping until probably late tomorrow. I haven't seen this since I started my business. I grew up here my whole life, and I've maybe seen a storm once or twice like this. So this is pretty bad.
Let's take a look now at the various Environment Canada weather alerts and warnings throughout the region of the storm. You can see it contrasted with the green from the storm there, all through Ontario into Quebec, even out to the Maritimes. The orange warnings are a little more severe than the yellow ones, but we're looking at winter storm and snow squall warnings in some parts, freezing rain warnings in others, a special weather statement in parts of Ontario for strong winds out into the Maritimes as well. All of PEI is subject to a yellow warning. New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador also subject to these warnings. Again, various reasons for these warnings, whether it's snow, freezing, rain, wind, whatever the case may be, a real mixed bag of weather. And Environment Canada meteorologist Gerald Cheng explains why that is.
Got the warm air masses or milder air mass that comes up into our region, and that's why we got the freezing rain. We got the weather cocktail, and then you've got the colder air mass that's coming from the north, and that's why it's freezing everything over. So that's why it's a mixed bag, and it's tough to deal with, certainly as a driver and also as a pedestrian.
For people who have to travel today or tomorrow, I wish you good luck. If you have long ways to go, it's not looking good for you. In Northern Ontario, there are several highway closures to report. Multiple closures along Highway 17 and 11, closures on Highway 101, 129 as well. Many areas surrounding those closed roads, also with low visibility due to snow, roads partially or fully covered in snow. If you're flying, several major airports throughout the storm zone, if you want to call it that, are reporting delays and cancellations through today and even into tomorrow, as they have to do what they call operational recovery, making up tomorrow for some of the cancellations and delays that they're seeing today. And if you're taking a train, well, a notice from Via Rail on its website says through the Quebec City, Windsor corridor and Eastern Canada, severe weather is expected through today into tomorrow, which again could cause many delays and cancellations. So best advice, whether you're taking a plane, train or automobile, check ahead before you go.
Okay, thank you for this, Mark. That's the CBC's Mark Carcasole.